So we've been looking at this neck that we're planning on using, and the more we look at it, the more we don't like it. I'm not sure what wood this is exactly. Could be maple or just could be some other kind of white softwood, but it's not that great. So what we're thinking is we've got this very nice piece of sapele, and that we're just going to go ahead and we'll make our own neck for it. Okay, so we're going to begin the process of making this neck. And we're not going to go into too much detail, we're going to go through it pretty quickly because we've already done stuff on making necks and that. But basically with this piece of sapele, just because of the grain structure and that, we're going to split it down the middle. We're going to flip this piece over then and then glue it together just to give us more grain stability and stop the wood moving and that. So we're just going to very quickly bandsaw it down the middle. Off camera we're going to pass it through the jointer and that kind of to get everything square again, and then we'll just glue it all up and that'll be our neck blank we can start with. Okay, so we've just split our piece of wood on the bandsaw as you saw, and so we just flip up our pieces then, and we would glue these together to make up our blank, but because we want any movement in the wood to be counteracted by the other, we'll just take this piece and we flip it. So when we glue this up then, any movement in one piece will be counteracted by the other. So apologies for the noise, we have a clothes dryer running in the background, but we're just about to glue up our neck blank here. And we just had an idea that because we've got all the lovely stripes and veneers on the body, that we might do something similar with the neck. So because the neck is so long, we haven't been able to find a piece of veneer or contrasting wood that's long enough that'll fill in the blank for us without leaving big gaps or something. So what we're going to try is, this could fail terribly or could look spectacular, we don't know. We're going to use a piece of 1/4 inch plywood as our centre stripe slash veneer or accent piece or whatever. Now this could work, could look fine, it could also look absolutely terrible as well, but at the same time as well, this piece of plywood isn't long enough to cover the entire length we need, so we'll be adding another piece to the end here. But this piece should be covered by will be covered on top by the fretboard, and at the back of the neck this section is going to be inside the neck pocket, so we shouldn't see it. So there might be a small little hairline gap between the two pieces here, but it should be hidden, we hope. If it's not, it's no big deal. So what we're going to do now is glue up this blank and we'll put it to one side, and then as you said we'll come back and we'll flatten everything off and square it all up and see how things stand from then. So next up, let's glue this together. So our neck blank has been in clamps for a few days now, so we'll just take all these off and we'll start to cut away some of the excess bits before we start to get it nice and square. So the first thing we're going to do is cut off all these excess bits of plywood here, so we're just going to very quickly run this through the bandsaw, and then we'll bring you back over to the workbench and we'll start our flattening out process. But we're just taking down some of the heavy stuff just to make it a little easier to pass through the machine. So we've just marked the top of our neck blank with our first template, and we've marked a nut line going across, and we can just flip our blank onto its side and take our second template, and using that nut line mark we can just make sure this second template is lined up, and this will give us the angle for our headstock and also the thickness of the neck itself, so this will all be material we can take away. So we can mark that out now as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to carve out our truss rod channel. So we've got our parallel guide set up here in our router, so that'll give us a nice straight line all the way down. And we'll be using a straight bit, which is this. So we'll be going down just a small amount, and this will just stay in the channel all the way, and we'll just cut that out. So that's our truss rod channel done. We just need to open it up slightly here, just to allow for the nut. So we're just going to come back with a chisel and we'll just open that hole up ever so slightly. So that's our truss rod in, and it's all nice and flush, just ever so slightly below the surface. So with that done, we can then move on to start to shape the entire neck.